Welcome to another module on Introduction to Machine Learning. Today we will talk about neural networks, which is a very important topic in machine learning. A whole set of revolution in deep learning, in artificial intelligence that we are currently witnessing is based on neural networks. So this topic is going to be foundational for deep neural networks that we will briefly look at in this course later, and perhaps in a more advanced course later on. So let's get into it. So the learning objectives for this module are going to be how we will explain how adding hidden layers increases the modeling ability of neural networks compared to linear models, including linear regression and linear classification. We will write the mathematical expression of the sort of functions that neural networks model, and then we will derive a method to train neural networks, which is called backpropagation algorithm, which is used quite widely even in deep learning. And then we'll list some ways to improve the training of neural networks using backpropagation, how to make backpropagation more robust and faster. So let's look at a hierarchy of models that we have been looking at until now. So on the left hand side are more simpler models, simpler in the sense that the type of functions that they model are going to be simpler. They are going to be restricted. Whereas on the right hand side we have more complicated functions and more sophisticated layered structures of functions. So if you think about any input X, right, and if we send it to a linear regressor, we send that input to a linear regressor or a linear classifier, what that does is it extracts some linear features from this X, or basically it multiplies it with some linear weights for each of the dimensions of X, and then depending on whether it is regression or classification, in regression nothing else, we do nothing more after that. We just, that is the model, the weights times the input dimensions is actually what the output is. But if it is a classification problem, then we might send it to a pseudo step function or the sigmoid function, and the output of the sigmoid function we will interpret it as either a class 0 or a class 1 or a combination thereof of multiple class 0s and class 1s for multi-class classification. So with all that, what we get is an output f of x, and this function f of x is trainable. What is trainable is shown in the subsequent slides in red color. So what is actually trainable is this weight matrix W, right? And I'm not using biases because I assume that it's an augmented x vector. We have appended a 1 to it, and then the weight, one of the weights can act as the bias. So to simplify notations, I'm just excluding all the biases. So now for this particular form of a function, we'll get f of x, which is just W matrix multiplied by the x vector, which is vector for one particular input sample, right? So, or we can also call it xi. So we multiply the matrix W with x, and that is our output, or we put it in a linker function like a sigmoid function sigma, and that's our output. So that output, once we get it here, we compare it with the desired values t or t sub I, and we compare it inside a loss function, and basically your entire flow is such that the input goes into the linear classifier or regressor where it gets multiplied with W, and if it is a regression, then nothing else happens. But if it is classification, we also send it through a fixed function sigma, and whatever comes out of that, which is y is equal to fx or y is equal to sigma W wx, that is compared with ti, and that could be a mean square error comparison, or it could be a cross entropy comparison depending on the problem. And based on that, we will compute a derivative of the loss with respect to the weights W and send it back to slightly adjust W, so that when we do many iterations of these slight adjustment, we get to the optimal W that will minimize the loss. And in this minimization of loss, I'm also assuming that the regularization is there. So if you are doing L2 regularization, this loss, this gradient for adjustment will also have the gradient of the regularization term in the loss, in not just the error loss, but the regularization loss as well. So that is basically what we have learned until now for linear models. And slightly more sophisticated form of that is support vector machines. In support vector machines, we will take the input, but we will extract fixed features. So you can also think of extracting fixed features in terms of problems such as polynomial regression. So if you have x, which is a single scalar, then fixed features could be x squared, x cubed, and so forth. So now you have multiple terms, multiple powers of x, but you are still computing a linear combination of those for the output, and we are basically just computing the loss again, just like we were doing for linear regression. For support vector machines, it's slightly more sophisticated than a simple feature extraction and loss computation. Here the feature extraction happens over pairs of inputs as opposed to a single input. So we have a kernel function, and that kernel function will take your test vector or another training vector xj and compute the kernel with respect to one of the training points xi, and depending on whether this xi is a support vector or not, the coefficient would be either 0 or non-zero. So this coefficient ai will be 0 for non-support vectors, and it will be non-zero for support vectors, which will also be computed as a part of the loss function, and we will have that hinge loss function plus a regularization term over the L2 loss of all the weights. So based on that, we basically again compute the loss, and we can either do gradient descent or quadratic programming in this case, and we will adjust the AIs or the W's for such a model also. So now we have gone from just a simple linear model to extracting non-linear features, but the computation, the loss computation and the gradient over the loss is still over finally a linear model of their inputs, right? So it is still it's only slightly more non-linear in that sense compared to the linear models. So what we will talk about going forward is about neural networks, where you have the input x, right? And then we will extract some trainable features from that, and let's say those trainable features are w1, some matrix w1 times x, and we will put a non-linearity to it, sigma w1 times x, right? And on top of that, we'll have another linear regression or classification. So this is your first layer of feature extraction, and this entire vector that we extract, that we compute from the input, becomes an input to the next layer. So this is your layer 1, and this is your layer 2. Okay, so it becomes an input to the next layer, which has its own set of weights. So your W1 is residing here, your W2 is residing here. Okay, and then again we will compute a loss, and this loss need not be very different from these losses. It can be as simple as mean square error for regression problems and cross entropy for classification problems. But that loss will now be computed over an output. This output is again f of x, but the form of f of x is slightly more complicated than the previous form that we saw for linear models. Here the form of x is such that it has layers of functions within functions, right? And we can actually extend it to multiple layers, more than 2 layers. So what we will have is, we have x, and then what we compute, so we have w1 here, what we compute here is sigma of w1 times x, right? And then we have another layer where we will have w2, and then we will have sigma of w2 times sigma of w1x, etc. And then we finally have the weight of the last layer, which is the lth layer. so WL for the Lth layer, and from there we will have the final layer of weights that will be multiplied with the previous set of features that were extracted. So we will have a very large equation, very large layered function, where it will be a function of functions of functions of functions. So there will be functions nested inside functions, but the form of each function remains fundamentally the same, that we have a linear weight matrix multiplying with the input vector, and that input vector is the output vector of the previous layer, right? So the output vector of the previous layer becomes the input vector of the current layer, and then on top of that we have a nonlinear function sigma, and this nonlinear function, we have a lot of flexibility over that, and we will look at some good examples of this nonlinear function sigma. It need not always be sigmoid, although sigmoid is also a decent choice of a function that can be used throughout for nonlinearity. So basically that's in a nutshell what is neural networks. We will concentrate this lecture on a single hidden layer neural network, but if you add number of hidden layers and you have special layer structures that are easier to train, then we get deep neural networks. So it just builds upon the same concept. So in some sense we have to think of it as you have X, and then we can multiply this with some weight matrix W, right? And what we get out of that, we can send it to some nonlinear function sigma, and this function sigma is applicable. You don't use it for linear regression, but let's say for classification we use it, right? And basically what we get here is the loss term after that, right? Because the loss term also takes t, and it computes the difference between these two. We are just making it slightly more sophisticated when we are computing when we are basically extracting, let's say, some feature phi, right? And then we multiply it with some weights W, right? And then we may or may not have a sigma, but then we have a loss